Hello and welcome to Uganda Christian University. I am Reverend Jessica Hughes. I am the e-learning manager here at UCU, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we do e-learning here at UCU. I'm also a graduate. I did my Master's of Divinity here, so I know what it's like to study here. So as you know, we are teaching online this semester, and that means that learning is going to be a little bit different from what you're used to in the classroom. And so I just want to note that at the top of the screen here, what you're largely used to is traditional learning, in which there's very little technology used. You come to class, the teacher is there, the teacher talks, you interact, and then you go. But what we are doing right now is almost purely online, where all of the content is posted online. There is no face-to-face time because, of course, when the semester began, all schools were closed. But any interactions you have with your lecturer will be online. So that is how we are teaching here. And so there are some differences between face-to-face learning and online learning. Face-to-face learning, the traditional way of teaching, is synchronous, meaning it happens in the same place and the same time. There's very little online or digital interaction. There's a lot of conversation and a lot of dialogue because you're in the same room together. You can talk. And the traditional model is more that the lecturer is talking and the student is listening and writing. There's not necessarily opportunities for critical thinking and applying the knowledge that you're learning. But in the online model of learning that we have, this is primarily asynchronous. It takes place in a different place, in a different time. A lecturer will record a lecture and post it, so you can watch it at a different time at which the lecture was actually recorded. Most of the interactions are going to be digital. A lot of the correspondence, the communication between the lecturer and the student are also going to be asynchronous. It could be posting a conversation or a discussion forum in which you're not there at the same time. You're commenting on other students' comments in a forum, and the lecturer is also coming in to add that point of view. Because of this, there is a lot more opportunity for critical thinking and application of knowledge. Given this set of facts, how do you apply this? How do you go about solving a problem? So this is what we're doing in online learning. You're not in the classroom at the same time as your lecturer. You're getting the information and you're applying it and turning that around into your coursework. Another look at the differences between face-to-face and online learning is that in face-to-face you have the physical conversations, verbal conversations. Online, those are typed because you're communicating in chats and in forums and through courseworks. And in face-to-face, everything is done real time, where you're in class and you would receive a handout, but online, those notes are available 24/7. So anytime you can get to the internet, you can download the information that is there. Face-to-face learning requires transport to get somewhere. You don't necessarily need that for online, but you do need to have gadgets and appropriate software and access to the internet. Another big difference is that in face-to-face learning, the response you get from your lecturer is usually immediate. The lecturer asks a question, you answer, and you get the immediate response. But with online learning, when a lecturer posts a coursework, the lecturer needs to go back and mark it. Or if the lecturer posts a conversation, they have to get back to it within a day. So the feedback and interaction can be a little bit delayed. So we do a little bit of both synchronous and asynchronous learning here. Synchronous learning means, again, you're in the same space at the same time. We do that through a tool called Big Blue Button that is used in Moodle, which is our learning management system, and also through Zoom, as we see here, a Zoom picture of everyone being very happy to be there. Everybody has to have access to the same resources and the same files. So everyone is together, moving together, in that conversation. So you can have a discussion group in Big Blue Button or Zoom, find a way for everyone to be together. Or there can be asynchronous learning, where things are happening in the same space but at a different time, like a discussion group or a chat. So for example, this is a screenshot of a discussion that I had with my class last semester, and you can see that they answered the question, they titled their discussion, you see the student who started it, and you see that I responded to each of them. So we had a dialogue, but it wasn't at the same time. They posted their work, and then I posted my response, and they had to come back and find to see what I said. And so what you can see by this way of learning is that this is not the same model of learning that you're used to. The traditional learning model is teacher-centered, where the teacher has the primary responsibility for communicating knowledge. And we largely do that through lectures. You come to class, you listen, and you go. And the teacher is at the center here and is seen as the one with all the knowledge. What we are doing is a learner-centered model of education, where the focus and the responsibility has shifted to the student. The lecturer is still the one with the knowledge and still has all that knowledge to impart, but the lecturer has posted all that information and the student has to go and get it. You have to download notes. You have to see the videos that are posted. You have to go and find articles that the lecturer may have for you to read. And this allows you some flexibility. There's multimedia aids, there's opportunities to collaborate on assignments, opportunities to have very practical courseworks rather than just things that you read. And the lecturer role here, rather than sage on the stage, the wise person who is speaking, has now become the guide on the side. So the lecturer is very much, still has the knowledge and is imparting it, but is guiding you through how to learn what you need to learn for the semester. And so when you log into Moodle, the learning management system, all the information will be there and the lecturer will be walking you through the lectures, the notes, the courseworks, the interactions to bring you to a successful close for the semester. So this is a different way of learning. And in order to have a meaningful educational experience, I'm going to start at the top here, we call it edutaining. So making education entertaining. Education is fun, learning is fun, finding new knowledge. These are all exciting things. It's not going and just sitting in a lecture room for 2 hours, but it's talking and it's exploring and discussing the things that you've read and you've found. It's contextual, meaning that we make sure that everything that we have is relevant. All the materials presented are relevant to the course, that we're involving you in your learning, motivating you to learn and to learn more, not just complete your courseworks to get marks. You are guided through all the work that is there. The lecturer is still very involved in the course. The work can be collaborative, but it can also be individual. So you will have assignments that you have to do alone, and then assignments which are group work. So there's the opportunity for both, showing your skills individually as well as collaborating with your classmates. But I think the biggest aspect here is that it's very active. This is not a passive thing at all. It's very active in terms of researching and reading and designing and coming up with answers and doing your coursework. This is a very engaging way to learn, but it is learner-centered, meaning that the burden is largely on the learner to go get the information and to do what is required. So this means that successful online learners have to be a little bit different than a successful classroom learner. First of all, since you're not there in the same room with a lecturer, you might have to actively find answers to your questions. That does not mean that the lecturer is not available. The lecturer is available, but you might have to go and do some searching. You might, if you have a problem you've encountered, you might have to find a solution. Talk to your classmates in addition to talking to your lecturer. You do need to have access to the internet for online learning, and to have some knowledge of how the internet works and the computer works is very helpful. Now, since there is a timetable, but since you're not appearing in the classroom at the same time, you do need to have good time management skills. The lecturer will post videos for you to watch, so you need to plan. I'm going to watch this video here because we have to have this discussion here, and I have to have all these things done in order for this to be a good discussion. So it does take a lot of planning and good time management skills. And again, since this is a learner-centered approach, this means that you need to be very motivated to go and do things. If you try to do your semester in a week, it's going to be very hard. If you say, oh, well, everything's there, I can come back to it, that's going to be difficult. And your lecturers are going to time your assignments, and you may be locked out of Moodle if you try to submit something past the due date. So you need to be able to keep time and be motivated to keep up with all the deadlines that come. So what does all this mean for you in how you're starting your university education at UCU? It means you need to come to be ready to learn, ready to read, and ready to research. And we have excellent tools to help you accomplish all of those. You need to come and be ready to manage your time well. You need to be actively engaged with Moodle, which is our learning management system, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. That is where your lectures, your notes, your discussions, your assignments are there. Of course, you can have WhatsApp groups and have discussions there, but your work needs to be reflected in Moodle. That means you need to have access to data. You need access to the internet. You need a good gadget, preferably a laptop. There is an app for Moodle, but the way it shows things, it sometimes can be hard to read and follow discussions. And I think it's also really difficult to complete coursework on a phone. If you have to write a 5-10 page paper, are you going to do that on your phone and reference all your sources well? So the best thing is to have a laptop if that's possible, or access to a computer even if you have to go to a cafe. Now, let's talk about zero-rated data. Renew is our internet service provider, and they have zero-rated data for UCU domains. That means moodle.ucu.ac.ug, alpha, where you went to apply and where you went to register and where you will find your marks. eLearning at eLearning UCU also. All of those, Renew will zero-rate the data for. However, you have to have data to get to the internet to get to those sites. So if you try to connect to any of our sites with no data loaded, you're not going to get anywhere. So please note that you have to have data loaded to get to the UCU sites, and that is when the zero-rated data is kicking in. Now, something else I have to note is any sites that are in Moodle that link to something outside of UCU, such as YouTube videos, like for lectures, or if a lecturer posts an article that they want you to read, or a case you need to research, a case study to read. Any link that goes outside of UCU will accrue data. So Renew is being very generous in zero-rating the data, but I want you to see that it's not a completely zero-rating everything that is here. There are going to be some data charges that you will have. Now, on October 1st, I want you to go into Moodle at moodle.ucu.ac.ug. Your login is your UCU email, which is your access number at students.ucu.ac.ug, and your password. If you do not have your password, contact the help desk. The number is here, 0794-770-816, or helpdesk@ucu.ac.ug. When you log into Moodle, on your dashboard, you will see a course that's called Advent 2021 Orientation. And what I need you to do is to go through that course. It's going to talk to you a little bit more about how learner-centered education works, but it also serves to get you used to Moodle. I'll have you go in and complete an assignment, participate in a discussion forum, download files, watch a video, a short video, just so you can see how things look, so that when you go into your course units, you will know what you're looking at. And at the end of the course, you will get a badge. But to get your badge, you do have to complete all the activities in the course. And I want you to go ahead and do it on October 1st so that you can begin the semester well on October 4th. So it won't take you very long to do. It is going to be short, but it is going to give you practice to do everything you need to do in order to have a successful semester in Moodle. So when you go to moodle.ucu.ac.ug, this is what the page looks like. You'll notice in the top right it says you are not logged in with a link to log in, so you will click there, log in with your UCU email and password. And then this is an example of a dashboard. This is one of my class representative's dashboards. And you can see that he started his Advent 2021 e-learning refresher course, but he hasn't finished it yet. But you can see the course units he's enrolled in. So all your courses for your semester are going to be on your dashboard, and they will always be there. So when you log in, you just go there and you go into your courses and you handle whatever assignments are there for you. So this is where your time management comes in. You will have your timetable, and so your lecturer will tell you the times that lectures will be posted if there are discussions, but that's where you need to manage your time, because you see here David has 5 course units and he has to manage his time to handle all the tasks that are in each of them. Now, I told you how to get to the refresher course by going to Moodle, but for all of your course units, you need to start in Alpha, which is where, if you applied online, that's where you went to apply. So you go to alpha.ucu.ac.ug, log in with your UCU password, email and password, then go to My Courses, and then click Open in Moodle. That is how we know that you have registered for the semester, because that's where the lecturers will go to record your marks. So first time, go to Alpha, log in with your UCU email, go to My Courses, select Open in Moodle, and that's when you will find your courses there. Now, there are several places that are available to help you because, of course, you're not here on campus. So if you have questions about things in e-learning or in Moodle, you can email us at elearning@ucu.ac.ug. You can WhatsApp on 0795-770-530, or the elearning.ucu.ac.ug page has 2 sections. On the student section, there's a frequently asked question page which has several job aids: how to submit an assignment, how to take a quiz, how to update your profile. All of those are there. If you have questions about Alpha, the management information system, you can write to alphahelpdesk@ucu.ac.ug, or you can WhatsApp them at 0795-771-753. And if you need just general help with any UCU account, like if you need your password reset, contact the help desk, helpdesk@ucu.ac.ug. The phone number is 0794-770-816. That number is not on WhatsApp, but you can call or text them. And with that, I will see you soon at the Q&A session, the live session on Zoom. I look forward to seeing you, answering your questions, and I wish you a fruitful semester, and God bless you.